It was supposed to be an ordinary night in a quiet college town. 4 University of Idaho students, asleep in their beds. By sunrise, 4 of them would be dead, and a case would begin that would grip the entire country for years. This is the story of the Idaho student murders and the criminology PhD student accused of committing them, Bryan Kohberger. Before we dive in, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the rest of our true crime deep dives. 1. The night of November 13, 2022. In the early morning hours of November 13, 2022, in the small city of Moscow, Idaho, 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death inside an off-campus rental home. The victims were Madison Mogan, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, all in their early 20s, all with their whole lives ahead of them. 2 other roommates were home at the time and survived. One of them told police she saw a masked man with distinctive bushy eyebrows walking through the house that night, a detail that would later become one of the most talked about clues in the entire case. Moscow, Idaho isn't a place used to headline-making crime. It's a small university town, and the murders left the community and soon the whole country in shock. With no immediate arrest, rumors, amateur sleuths, and true crime YouTubers flooded the internet with theories, some of them targeting innocent people. 2. The investigation. For weeks, investigators stayed quiet about evidence, which only fueled public speculation. Behind the scenes, though, police were working a genetic evidence trail. A knife sheath left at the scene reportedly contained trace DNA, which investigators use to search genetic genealogy databases, a technique that has cracked several major cold cases in recent years. That trail led investigators across the country to Bryan Kohberger, a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University, just a short drive from Moscow. Kohberger had reportedly studied crime and criminal psychology, a detail that struck many as chilling, given the accusations against him. On December 30, 2022, roughly 6 weeks after the murders, police arrested Kohberger at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. He was extradited back to Idaho to face charges. 3. The case builds. Kohberger was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. Prosecutors said cell phone data placed him near the victim's home multiple times before the murders, and that his car, a white Hyundai Elantra, had been spotted on surveillance footage near the scene. For nearly 2 years, the case moved slowly through Idaho's court system. A trial was originally expected to happen in Boise after a change of venue, with jury selection set to begin in August 2025. Prosecutors said they intended to seek the death penalty. Throughout this period, Kohberger's defense team argued about DNA evidence, tried to challenge the genetic genealogy methods police used, and floated alternate theories, including questions about his whereabouts that night. None of it derailed the case, moving toward trial. 4. The plea deal. Then, just weeks before trial was set to begin, everything changed. On June 30, 2025, Kohberger agreed to a plea deal, and on July 2, 2025, he formally pleaded guilty to all 4 murder charges and the burglary charge. In exchange, prosecutors agreed to take the death penalty off the table. As part of the deal, Kohberger also waived his right to appeal. For many observers, the decision to accept a plea so close to trial was surprising. It meant the public would never get the courtroom answers many had hoped for, including any explanation of motive. 5. Sentencing day. On July 23, 2025, Kohberger stood before Judge Stephen Hippler at the Ada County Courthouse for sentencing. The judge handed down 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole for the murders, plus an additional 10 years for burglary, along with substantial financial penalties owed to the victims' families. The judge acknowledged something that still haunts this case: the motive may never be known. Kohberger declined to speak at his own sentencing, but the victims' families did speak, and their words were raw and unforgettable. Family members addressed Kohberger directly, some maintaining eye contact with him as they spoke about their grief, their anger, and the daughters and loved ones they lost. Prosecutors noted that, as far as investigators could tell, Kohberger had no prior criminal history or documented history of violence before that night, which only deepened the mystery of why this happened at all. 6. what's happened since you might think that would be the end of the story, but it isn't. More than a year after his guilty plea, Kohberger has since filed a petition seeking to withdraw it, claiming his innocence and alleging his plea was based on false information. Legal experts are skeptical about his chances, given how difficult it is to reverse a guilty plea once entered, especially with an appeal waiver in place. Kohberger is currently incarcerated at the Idaho Maximum Security Institution. Police have also begun releasing investigative documents and reports from the case, giving the public new details about the interviews, evidence, and timeline that led to his arrest. The case has also inspired documentaries and renewed public fascination, a reminder that even after a plea and a sentence, some of the biggest questions in this case remain unanswered. 4 young lives were taken in a matter of minutes on a November night in 2022. A community was shattered, a nation was captivated, and even with a conviction and a life sentence, the why behind it all may never be known. If you found this case as haunting as we did, let us know your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to like this video and subscribe with notifications on, so you never miss one of our deep dives into the true crime cases that shaped the headlines.